up, everyone? Sean CountBlagorath here with an album review, this time of the 2012 Peaceville Records release of Dead End Kings by Catatonia. If you're not familiar with Catatonia, they are they used to be a death doom band hailing from Sweden. Now they are a very hard to describe sound, very much an atmospheric rock, but still metal, kind of depressive rock, I guess you could say, sort of band that have slowly became one of my favorite bands of all time. And what really solidified that status for them, with me at least, was the albums Viva Emptiness and The Great Cold Distance. The Great Cold Distance is probably one of the most memorable albums in the Catatonia discography because it has so many perfect songs on there, such as In the White, July, Deliberation, Leaders, My Twin. There's just so many just amazing songs on that album, and I love that album to death. Viva Emptiness is my personal favorite because pretty much of every song on there is just near perfect. Omerta is probably my favorite song by them, along with Evidence. But when they released Night is the New Day, I really enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. Like, the song Forsaker is absolutely amazing, and there's a handful of other really good songs on there. But it just lacked that memorable element and that replayability. It had a feel to it where it was good for maybe 2 or 3 listens, maybe 4, and then you shelf it. And I don't really dig albums that are like that. I like ones that have a lot of replayability and have stuff that you will remember instantly. And Night is the New Day really lacked that, but it was a different album, which I gotta give them that for. The thing with Catatonia that I've always loved is they don't repeat themselves. They don't make the same album twice, and that is a very, very good thing. And Catatonia have done it again with Dead End Kings. This album is 11 tracks long, and it is some of the most beautiful music Catatonia has done to date. Everything about this just screams thought out and very just beautiful. What I love about this record is it has this very mellow feel to it, but it still feels like Catatonia. It still has a little bit of a heavy element to it that I really like, especially with the song Dead Letters. Dead Letters is the first song that they released as a single for this album, and I fell in love with it instantly, and I probably listened to it about 50 times. It's just such a near perfect song. Just everything about it is what I love Catatonia for. Heavy riffs, yet beautiful melodic passages that are very well thought out, and just fantastic musicianship with just the most amazing clean vocals scattered on top, and I just love that. Everything about that song is memorable, and everything about this album is memorable. There's no real throwaway tracks, which is a very, very good thing. The songs have taken more of a mellow approach, especially with the first 2 tracks, The Parting and The One You Are Looking For Is Not Here. Those are my 2 personal favorites from the album. They showcase a softer side of Catatonia, which I really like. The guitars are just very more subtle on this album, I could say. They're not so much about the crunch as much as they are about being another instrument. Nothing is trying to overshadow the other thing. And they blend in perfectly in the background with the drums, the bass, and the keyboards, where it just feels very organic. And that's something that I love about this. And the tone itself is just perfect. It has enough crunch to it for the heavy moments, for it to just kick in and just hit you hard. And then the clean moments just blend in 100% perfectly with the keyboards. And that is a very good thing to hear. The bass, once again, is just very intricate. It's very well thought out. It's well written. It's mixed perfectly in the mix. You can hear everything so well. and it really branches off into its own territory with the drums, which is a good thing to hear the rhythm section actually being utilized in a band, so the bass is just going along with whatever the guitarist is doing, which has its place as well, but I like to hear this sort of thing as well. The drums are just so good. Their drummer is probably one of the best drummers in modern metal. He's got some insane fills, some very creative beats that do not get boring and tiresome. He throws in just little tiny variations into the beats where it will catch you off guard just a little bit, but something that is very refreshing, and it keeps the music interesting and keeps it from becoming stale. Nothing really flashy, just very straightforward, but perfectly executed, and that's what I like to hear. The keyboards are scattered throughout the whole album, but instead of them being so prominently used on the last album, Night is the New Day, that was a very much heavily keyboard-oriented album, where it felt like it was more electronic and ambient than it was Catatonia style, like depressive rock. To me, it just kind of didn't feel that much like Catatonia other than the vocals, which I'll get to in a second. The keys on this are not so much electronic sounds as much as they are straight up piano, and some electronic sounds here and there, kind of like an organ feel on a few tracks, that really adds to a progressive sort of sound that I really like. The best part about the keyboards, though, is, in my opinion, my personal favorite is the usage of it being an actual piano, and it dances throughout the whole album, in and out, in very specific spots where it really just adds to the overall feel and the emotion of the album that they're trying to bring forth, and I can feel it and I can hear it, and that is just amazing. The vocals. Jonas, or Jonas, I'm not too sure how you say his name, because I know in Scandinavian countries J's are pronounced as Y's or whatever. Regardless of how you pronounce his name, he is the best singer, in my opinion, clean singer in modern metal. He has one of the most atmospheric voices I've ever heard. It sounds so relaxed, but you can tell he's singing from the heart. There's nothing about it that sounds forced or ingenuine or disingenuous. I should say. Excuse me. The overall sound of his voice just really is very vivid and spaced out, and that's something that's very unique to hear in metal. The only other vocalist I can think of is Neej from Alcest. He has as well a very atmospheric voice, I guess you could say, and his singing is just incredible, and his range is kind of limited. He has kind of a lower tone voice, mid, and somewhat of a high, but it's mostly mid-range, and I love it. The vocal melodies and the lyrics on this album are very, very catchy and memorable, but they're not catchy like The Great Cold Distance, so to speak, with songs like Leaders, where you will remember the chorus. You will remember the stuff, but it's not infectiously catchy, which is also a good thing because that keeps it from being poppy. Not saying pop can be bad, I'm not saying that at all, because I really like some poppy sort of metal, but when it comes to Catatonia, I'm more like a darker edge, and this album is very dark, very beautiful, and that's really the only two words I can think of to describe this, and it's very well thought out. My personal favorite part of this album is just the overall mellow vibe that I get from it. It's something that's very good to relax to, and I recommend this to anybody who is into Catatonia, is into relaxing music, depressive rock, just very good singing. I would recommend this too. Just overall, this is an album anyone should check out. Doom metal fans will definitely appreciate it, but this is an album that is going to be a grower for many people, and some people they're just not going to get it. And if you don't like Catatonia already, don't bother with this. But if you're a Catatonia fan, you'll love it. If you like the old album and you're expecting that, you're going to be a little disappointed. I personally was hoping for something different, and that's what I got. And I'm very happy I got that. So, for an overall score on this album, this is very tough for me to say just because I don't want to give away too many high scores this year, and I've been doing that a lot lately. But with that said, this could end up overthrowing my current album of the year, which is The Giant by Ahab. I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. This is just absolutely amazing and just perfect. So I recommend this to you guys. Pick it up when it's out. It comes out on August 27th through Peaceville Records. There's multiple editions. I really want to get the book edition, the box set, I guess it's called, where it has the CD, 2 10-inch vinyls of the album, and some other stuff. It's really cool. I plan on ordering that sometime, and you guys should too. So 9.5 out of 10. Definitely check this out. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, keep it metal.